project. Thank you for joining me today. I am Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop in Nova Scotia, Canada, and we are working on a fun clothesline bowl. I've never made one of these before this time, and let me tell you, they're pretty addicting. You can do this with a couple of different ideas in mind. You can make it into a bowl, just a little cup, or maybe like a trivet, something to keep the hot stuff away from your tabletop. that word I'm thinking of. It happens. So what I had asked for at my birthday was some clothesline, and it wasn't necessarily to hang clothes on the line, though that would be nice, but it is winter here, was to make these bowls. Now, Pop found me 7 and 32 inches, or 7 and 32 inches, 200 feet. So I had 400 feet of this. This is 200 right here. I had another one just like this, and I opened it up, so it was pretty easy for sure. And I just have some scrap fabric here. You don't have to use scrap fabric at all. You can just use a nice little contrasting or even complementary thread. So this is white. You could use white thread, use black, blue, whatever you got going on to makes you happy. So I have just some strips, just random strips, are like 1 inch to a little less than 1 inch, maybe a little bit more than 1 inch, but definitely around the 1 inch area. And it doesn't matter how long they are. If they go a little wonky, it doesn't matter. That's the best part of this project. It doesn't matter. Okay. So I've just got some scrappy fabric here, and I'm just going to cut another like little 1 inch sort of thickness chunk on it. Okay, just like that. We'll just pop that off to the side. And then once you have a little bit, so you don't have to do this, but this is what I have done. Once you got a couple little bits there, you're going to find your end of your rope. Oh, here we go, of your clothesline. And this one is 100% cotton polyester blend. So in the inside of your clothesline, you'll have like a stabilizer or a stiffener of some sort. You just want to kind of pull that down just a little bit, maybe about an inch, inch and a half, and give that a little clip. And then just pull back the braiding over where that little section was. So how to start this is we're gonna kind of wind this up on itself a little bit. And then we're gonna make a little circle. We're just going to try and form a circle going around in itself. If you want to do more of like a oblong sort of shape, you could do that first, and then it would just definitely go bigger and bigger and bigger, and you just make a bigger bowl. If you want to start off with something small, then start off with just a little circle. Okay, get a little bulk over there. Okay. You could use, put a little flame to this, like a lighter, but make sure you're very careful, of course, to stop it from fraying as well, okay? So once you kind of get it wrapping up, let's move those things out of the way so they're not distracted, okay? I'm going to grab a little safety pin, or a pin. Maybe I should have got the lighter from the house. Oops. Okay, so once you turn it in on itself, okay? Just a couple times, just coiling it up like a little snail shell. Okay, then you can put a pin through the few of the layers or through the coils to keep it all together, just like that. And then you're going to go and you're going to put it underneath your machine, and you can kind of go like a big cross or an X or a plus, or make a star or something like that to get that center all nice and to begin with and secure. And then you're going to start zigzagging across these parts here, and then as you just wind it underneath your machine and your foot, and you're going to try and keep the center of your foot right in between where these two little clotheslines are going to join. Okay, and you're just going to stitch, 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 keep going all the way around. Okay, so let's get that, now that we got ourselves prepped, let's get it underneath the machine and get sewing. Just going to put my thread to the other side. Okay. Now I did kind of change the angle of the machine just a little bit so you can kind of see what's going off here and how I have the angle of how I'm going to hold it. Actually, probably could show you what we're going to be making first. Surprise! So here's what I was talking about for keeping the heat away from your counter or your tabletop or anything like that, or even as a really cool kind of mug rug. To end it off, I did like a little spiral in the other direction, and then just kind of put it up. You can do like a little loop, or just even snug it up right up close again to the side of the the clothesline, okay? So here is another one I did, and I just added some fabric as I was going. I was wrapping the rope with just some of these little strips of fabric to see what it would look like. I started off with some polka dots. I gave my bottom first, started off with some polka dots, and then put some solid red, did a few more rows of just the white of the rope, and then wrapped some more of the polka dotted red, and then some more of the white of the rope, and then I just flipped it back upon itself, trimmed up a little bit of this from the inside, tucked it back in, and then just zigzagged back and forth over, okay? So that's pretty much what we're gonna make today, okay? So here, let's get ourselves started. I didn't put any fabric around the bottom part because I really wanted that to be nice and stiff. I only started putting the fabric as I was coming up to round the bowl itself, okay? So first off, let's do that little zigzag to, it is a zigzag stitch, and I have mine at 3.7 for the length of the stitch going back and forth, and then for this length of the stitch is 1.8, okay? And just be careful when you're sewing. Okay, and then I'm just gonna lift my foot. I'm gonna turn my little project all the way around, and then come stitch back in another direction. And keeping that circle all solid, okay? Lift my foot up. And then this is where I'm gonna just start, hopefully you can see that, I'm just gonna start pushing this together and stitching down. I'm gonna lay this as flat as possible on my sewing surface, okay? Now, if you had a hard time getting yours started and you need a little help getting around, you can use a stylist or a pair of blunt scissors or something like that to help guide things around in the circle, okay? And feel free to lift your foot as many times as possible and during the beginning parts of this to make sure everything's getting lined up, okay? And you just kind of want to take a little bit from, as I always joke around, column A and a little bit from column B, right? Okay, and then be free to switch your foot around so it's comfortable for you. Whether you like working on so it twirls around the inside or twirls around the outside, when it gets to the point of where you're forming the side of the bowl, you kind of want the bulk of your material to be on the left-hand side, okay? So let's just do a couple little spinner rounds here. Oh. Helps if we get what we're taking on. There we go. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to just cut that and I'm going to flip it the other way just because I want that bulk on the outside of my machine out here, okay? So there we go. Line this up and then just spin. And this is a great way if you want to make something super colorful. Use up all those leftover threads that you've been collecting for all these sorts of projects, or you were making some clothing, or use it all up. Put it in the bobbin, put it in the top, mix and match. Make them just black and white. Use black thread. There's all sorts of actually different colored ropes out there too, or clotheslines, so you can pick a really fun color too. I see my center was kind of popping up there just a smidge, so I'll be sure to come back and do a little zigzag in there before we start curling it. Okay. So this was where you get to decide how big you want the center of your project. Like this one right here, I chose 3 inches. It was approximately 3 inches across on the center here before I started kind of doing my angle to roll the bowl around. This one was approximately about 4 inches. So you can just see by the different sizes right there what that's going to possibly give you, okay? And in this one, I just did random. I just went around, put some fabric, and then sewed and random and just, you know, had some fun. I changed threads, as you can tell right there at the bottom. I had some gray thread in there, and then I found some white, a big spool of white that's a little bit too thick for the long arm, but will definitely work for this project right here. I do just have a regular needle in my machine, though it has been suggested to possibly even use a denim needle. I think if maybe you were using a thicker bit of clothesline, or had more of a sturdy center to it, because this is really quite flexible and pliable, you may want to definitely be grabbing a denim needle. Now, I like a nice kind of big bowl like this size here, so I think we're going to make sure we're going to get to about 4 inches. Okay, so I already have kind of one already set here at the side, so I'll just kind of switch it out. So here's what I was measuring for the approximate width right here. See, got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's approximately 4 inches on that width right there, or across the center of the circle. Okay, and keeping the bulk to the outside. Now, when you want to start forming your bowl, you kind of have a few choices. This one's kind of was done more on the 60-degree angle turn, and this one was kind of more done on the 45. So that kind of gives you whether you want a sharper bottom or a rounder bottom to your project, okay? So I'm just going to keep on trucking like we were. I did notice if I went too fast that my machine would skip stitches. I would get some weird little straight stitch and then like a zigzag sort of thing. Might want to be a zigzag. I don't know what was going on there. So I think I was going a little too fast. So pedal to the metal maybe not be the case for this project. But, you know, that's just my machine. Maybe your machine will behave a little bit better. Once you're happy with the circumference of your circle, right, how big you would like it, then it comes to the fun part of taking those little scrappy bits that you had to be able to play with, right? Okay. So first we'll have this, we'll just grab a random strip here. And what I was doing was putting one of the points up to the side of the clothesline rope, okay? And then I'm just tucking it in on itself, just like that. And then I'm just taking it, and then I'm going to roll it over, okay? Here, it's moving because I'm trying to make sure that you can see it. Here, let's do this to make sure it's not going to move. I'm going to tuck the corner in, fold this part over, hold on, scoot it up, there, and then I'm going to pin that upon itself just like that. And then I'm going to just go like this to wrap the rope, or wrap the clothesline, okay? Make sure it's taut enough to get snug around the rope. You don't want it too loose. And this is like one that's not going to matter whether it frayed edges or not. If you were concerned about that, certainly use a batik, okay? And then just roll it and roll it around your clothesline, okay? Just like that, okay? And now if you wanted to add another piece, you could sew it together or leave a gap like I was doing for most of the fun parts there. Sorry, tickle. I'm going to try and get this one down around first before I start angling the rope, or the clothesline that I have so far, okay? So I'm pushing it right up against the previous one stitched. I'm getting it right up there as snug as a bug in a rug as I can. Okay, and I'm trying to make sure that the needle and the thread are getting a little bit from this line and a little bit from this line. Okay. Now this is where you could be so creative. You can use maybe some of that, you know, funky fabric that you just didn't quite know what to do with, but maybe chopped up like this and then sewn in this kind of manner and make it look really nice. Okay, and again, I just folded the end right under it on itself, okay? Just kind of tuck it, pin it into place till we get close to that spot. I'll take the pin out. If it's going to move again, we can always shift the pin down as it sews and take some. There we go. Now, I'm going to pick this side up, and depending on whether you want it at the 45 or the 60, like a 45 or a 60-degree angle, is going to depend on how your basket is going to turn out, or your bowl, okay? So I'm going to try and hold mine very similar to the way I held this one, which was about 45, and just scoot your feet with one hand, hold it positioned, and then make sure the rope or the clothesline is being obviously fed and scooted up right up against the previous one stitched, okay, the previous round. Alright, keep holding it at that angle. And unfortunately, you'll have to hold it this way the whole time till you finish the project. So make sure you're in for the long haul. And you will see after a few rounds of it actually taking shape. Okay, we're going to add another little piece here. Why not? Because we can. Okay, and then just tuck that down there. Just hold it with the pin. Don't poke yourself. Hold it with your pin. And then just wrap. Hold that there. Make sure the wrapping over is covering the previous raw edges. So you're getting it all enclosed. You're getting that all that little bit of fabric color pop in that one area. Okay. Okay, just as I'm approaching my pin, I'm going to take it out. Again, trying to still keep my angle on the side of my bowl. Just wrapping and sewing and wrapping and sewing. And you can already see right now as it's starting to take the shape. Okay. Corner still keeps nice and tucked in around. If it gets pulled out, it's not the end of the world. You're going to be sewing around a few times to get it all tucked in. Wrestling fabric. The holiday chore. And just be slow and steady. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the project. It's a great gift to make somebody a bowl for near the door where the keys go, maybe the dog leash, treats, you name it. Think of the fruit bowl for the kitchen, the catch-all for the bathroom. Put a little hook on them, hang them up. Okay, you can see it's starting to get the shape and it will start to take off to be the bowl, and I will show you how to finish it. I want you to just keep adding all your little fabric bits that you like so much. Even that's just a cute one right there. Good to add just a little back on itself right there. Do a little back stitching and you got yourself a cute little, even if it's just like a little mug rug, that's perfect. Pop a snack on there. It's actually a little snack tray. That's a good idea. Limit yourself. Don't have the big snack bowl like this one. All right, so once you get to that part, I'll show you how to end where you're satisfied and happy with what you got. And of course, you know, only you're going to stop you of how many times you want to go around or how much fabric you want to add. You can make a whole rug. I find that easier to work with than like a jelly roll part, so definitely would make a nice rug. I believe each one of the packages was $20, or was it 2 for 20? I'm not 100%, but that is a fantastic deal for such a bunch of creative projects that you could do, for sure. How to make a bowl out of rope. Or you placemats. Make it big enough to make a placemat, depending on what size you start with. Like whether you start with the oval shape or oblong shape or the circular shape. And if you find that once your project's finished and there's a couple of gaps in there, don't be afraid to go back over with your zigzag. Nobody's going to notice or care. Okay, so now I'm coming to the end. There is my reinforced little bit right there. Oops, I got my scissors. Okay. Cut that a little bit shorter this time. And then we'll pull this back just a little bit. Take about an inch out. Okay. Twist this. And then we're just going to fold it back on itself. Right up against here. Okay. And we'll get it stitched down. So we're just going to make a little loop on this one. Okay. So you may have to come back a few times. I may even want to put a pin in there to stabilize. Okay. And the reason why I was taking it out is so we can get it as close as possible. I'm trying to get all those little loose fibers in. Okay. So I can get them stitched. Go this side first. Do a little back stitch. And then come over to this side. And then do a little back stitch. And there you go. You got yourself an awesome little bowl with a little hook top. Isn't that cute? Easy enough to do. Doesn't take very long. You can pop out a few of these in a couple hours, and a great gift for your guild meeting, for your friends, your fellow crafters. It can be used for anything. To me, this is like a perfect snack bowl. You know, get yourself some cheesies or some crackers or something like that. That's a perfect little snack. You know, go on a little walkabout. Feel free to, as you're coming up and around, you can make little handles if you wanted to. Make a little handle basket. I mean, the options are really yours. You can do whatever you like, right? And if you wanted to build out characters, you can make this one a little bit bigger and another one on this side. Make it look like a little bear or a mouse, or pointy ears, make it like a bunny rabbit or something like that. I mean, the options are really all yours, right? So I hope you take this and run, and I can't wait to see if you make a bowl. And if you've made a bowl, what's your favorite? And what kind of line or clothesline or rope did you use? So thank you very much for watching, liking, and subscribing. Greatly appreciate it if you do so. Thank you very much for joining me, and have a fantastic holiday season. We'll see you soon. Okay, bye. Had to know it was going to happen. Come on, it's a bowl.